people should be afraid if they've been engaged in corrupt activities.
It's a moment years in the making.
And I would want people to be afraid if they've been engaged in corrupt activities.
After a relentless stream of scandals, broken promises...
Where the bloody hell is the National Integrity Commission?
...and all-time low trust in our politicians, today the federal government unveiled its $262 million plan to keep the bastards honest.
The Albanese government's National Anti-Corruption Commission will investigate serious or systemic corrupt conduct across the entire federal public sector.
Release the hounds.
Here's what we know so far about the National Anti-Corruption Commission, aka the NAC. Under Labor's model, any member of the public can send in a tip-off. And it's not just pollies in the firing line. The Watchdog given powers to investigate anyone who tries to influence public officials. The Commission will also have the power to investigate retrospectively. The AG coy on whether that means scandals like sports and car park rorts will be up for scrutiny.
I don't look at the scandals surrounding the former government.
$55 billion was spent in various grants and programs. It may well seem desirable to the NAC to look at some of those if they are still in operation.
But the big sticking point in Labor's proposal? Hearings will mostly be held in private, with public hearings reserved only for exceptional circumstances.
The body has to demonstrate why the circumstances are exceptional, which is very helpful for the suspect and results in considerable delay.
The opposition, which railed against public hearings...
I'm not going to have a kangaroo court taken into this parliament,
The Prime Minister...
and failed to deliver its promised Integrity Commission, looks to be on board.
We're working constructively with the government. They'll have a bill shortly and I suspect we'll be in a position to support that.
Independents too are hopeful.
It needs to shine a light on whoever is endeavouring to corrupt public processes.
So will the NAC be enough to finally clean up Aussie politics?
Release the hounds.
Guardian political reporter Amy Renaikis has been following this story and she joins us now. Sorry, I'm really struggling tonight. Amy, what do you think? Do you think this has the capacity to see some big head roll? Some big heads roll?
Well, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but, you know, the bells are toiling here for the end of corruption. Yeah. No, it's just a Senate division. It's very boring. No, will big heads roll? That's going to be up to the Commission as to whether or not it does, because the government is being very, very, very particular in making sure that they are at arm's length from this process. So everything's going to be up to the Commission in terms of which of the suggested, you know, multitude of corrupt activities, alleged corrupt activities, they take on and investigate. But I think given that it has retrospective powers, we could see some big names at least submitted to the Commission, if not picked up on for an investigation.
So with the retrospective powers, do you think we'll see anyone held to account, for example, over the sports or car park rorts?
Well, that was a couple of the grants that the then opposition, now government, used to try and build support for a National Integrity Commission. We spent the last couple of years hearing about how all of these terrible programs had been run and how we needed an Integrity Commission to look into it. So there is a potential that these will be some of the issues that the Integrity Commission is asked to look at when it starts up at about mid-next year. Whether or not it does, though, is up to the commissioners, which are chosen by the government and a joint parliamentary committee, and whether or not they decide that it meets the threshold for corrupt activity.
Amy, we're just realising that alarm is actually on our end. It's actually the minibar in Carrie's dressing room. The alarm has gone off. It's empty. She's had a funny old night, Amy. But what about the...
And not sharing. I mean, come on.
That's the problem. She kept it all for herself.
Amy, what about the fact that most of these will be conducted in private? Is that a cop-out? Like, isn't it important that the public is part of this process?
Well, you would think that it's important that the public is part of this process because this is about building up public trust in our democracy again. But it seems like there has been some sort of negotiation behind the scenes between the coalition, who really didn't want public hearings, and the government, who really want to pass this bill, hopefully without too many amendments, which that pesky crossbench would make them have.
Amy, crystal balling, what do you think this commission will actually achieve? Do you think it is going to be the legitimate end of corruption in federal politics?
Diplomatically, no, because they tend to go hand in hand. Power always corrupts. We know that. What hopefully happens here, though, is that people have more trust in their system, that it's going to be flushed out and that people will be held to account for it. Because there was a little event earlier this year called the federal election where there was, you know, a pretty big thing put on integrity and how people felt about it. And it ended up with the previous government getting turfed out. So I think if we don't actually see some results from an integrity commission, you're going to have a pretty upset public who are absolutely going to hold politicians to account over this. I think everyone's just kind of done.
It's good that the alarm finished just as our chat with you finished, Amy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.